Okay, hello everybody. This is a video for those of you who've tried hooking up your car, new replacement head unit in your car, possibly a Chrysler or Dodge, and did everything perfectly right and turn it on, nothing. The amplifier, that's factory amplifier, is not turning on. Even though you followed all the directions and all the blogs and recommendations that you saw online. Here's the unit that I was installing here. I had the same problem, and everybody will say hook the blue wire for the antenna or the amplifier turn on from your aftermarket head unit plug to the blue wire on the harness, which is that one right there. But if you notice up here, look, who do we have in there? No one. But look, there's a little guy in here. For those of you who are Spinal Tap fans. Yeah, basically, there's no wire to connect to this blue one. And that is because of this wire here. You may have seen this little mystery wire on the back of your factory head unit. It goes into that little white plug there. That is a communication wire to your what is it called? VCM, vehicle control module, the brain, the computer. So basically your head unit, factory head unit, will communicate to the computer, and then your computer is turning on the amplifier. That strikes me as ridiculous. Why does your computer have to have anything to do with your stereo? But that's how they did it. One thing you don't want to do is hook that blue wire onto your computer line. My guess would be that you'll just blow out your computer. But what you want to do is run a separate wire. I'll show you how to do it the right way. Under the dash, around, up into the engine compartment, or wherever your relay box may be, and we'll hook it up the right way. This wire here will get hooked onto the blue. Just as an added note, remember, this is your ground wire. There is no ground wire on the harnesses, so you have to hook up your head unit's wire harness ground to this, as well as a separate pigtail that will get hooked onto this plug here. Was originally on one of those tabs there. That will be your ground, from what I understand, to your amplifier. Okay, well, let me get this all hooked up, and then next step, I'll show you out at the relay box. Okay, here we are at the fuse and relay box under the hood. This is a my 2001 Dodge Grand Caravan. And what you want to do is take the cover off of here. And on the underside there is a diagram. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it down there, but this one says NBS. That stands for Name Brand Stereo. And that is that relay right there. If you have any doubt whether you have the correct relay, you can try pulling it out, then go into the car. Turn on the accessory switch. If your stereo comes on and does not make any sound, then you pull the right one. So we're going to pull that out. Okay. And now, you notice that there's 4 slots there and a hole in the middle. They match up with the prongs that are on the relay. That center prong right there does not get used. And that actually fits down into that hole, and that hole is actually going to come in handy for me in a minute. Now, if you look closely at these pins, you probably can't see it on the camera, but each one has a number. And so, for instance, this pin here is that hole there, this pin here is that hole up there, so forth, and that pin there, the middle one, goes into that big hole there doing nothing. So I wrote a little diagram here. So we got, that's where pin 86 goes, that's where pin 30 goes, pin 87, 85, 87A, sometimes it's G, B, whatever. That one's not used and goes into that round hole that I showed you. Now, how the computer is turning on the amplifiers through this relay is pin 85 and 86 on this one is what activates that relay. And 86 is always hot, as well as 30. They're actually the same line. Your computer will shunt pin 85 to ground, completing the circuit, activating the relay, and when you activate the relay, pin 30 and 87 will actually come in contact with each other. When it's in the power's off, you're not using your car, the stereo's off, at that point it's in the rest, 30 and 87A are in contact with each other. So that little pin hanging down there is actually hot all the time. We're going to work around that. Okay, we're back. Change gears here a little bit. I was going to use this aftermarket relay, but it's just so big it doesn't fit underneath there at all. So I'm reusing the one that came with the car, the original one. And what you want to do is make up 4 little pigtails. I use little female spade lugs to go on there and just put shrink wrap tubing on there. They fit rather precariously, but they do work. And 2 of the wires you're going to want to put little tabs onto the end. The other 2 are nothing on there. They will get attached to our other wires, and I will show you the wires, how I made them up, 6-inch wires. I'll show you that now. Okay, so what you're going to do is the wires with the tabs on the end, you're going to hook up to pin 30 and pin 87 on the relay. You'll see that each little tab is numbered there. And then on pin 85 and 86, that's where the bare wires will go. And what we're going to do is we are going to plug pin 86 into these pin 87 into the slot that originally held pin 30, and you're going to put pin 30 into the slot that originally held 87. And the reason why I do that is if we don't, that center pin that is not used while your car is off or your radio is off, that pin will be hot. So since it's exposed, we'll play it safe. We'll just reverse those 2 and that'll cure that issue. And then the wires going to pin 85 and 86, they will go to your wire that heads off to your amp, the blue wire on your amp, which is red when it came out here, and I fished it through the little hole there. And then the other wire will go to your ground wire, which I hooked directly onto the battery, and I am just going to sneak it up around the lip, and the cover will still snap down over top of that. Okay, here it is all finished. We have sitting there all nice and neat. I'll be able to get the lid down, no problem. And just going to fish the ground wire through there. And like I said, I have pin 87 from the relay goes to the socket for 30, and pin 30 from the relay goes to the socket for pin 87, so that that loose little pin there doesn't get shorted out. And let's put the lid on, test it out. Okay, we're back, and turn on the accessory, power comes on, and now turn on the head unit. And we have music. Everything seems to be working good. With the sweet sounds Tales of Psychotic Norman. Well, I hope this video was of help to some of you out there. It may help you as far as figuring out how to do it on your own particular vehicle. I know that a lot of what I've shown here will be under a different configuration in different vehicles. But there's a lot of bad information out there, as I found when I tried to install this one, and this is the right way to do it. Modify it as you see fit. And thank you for watching.